This is the part of the video where I explain my code. As you can see, I have the necessary libraries for my program, as well as the necessary constants, like max name length, which prevents players from exceeding a name over 20 characters, and a max prompt length, which actually allows prompts to be displayed properly, or sentences to be displayed properly on the screen, and allows um, them to have enough room or to be displayed on the screen. And for my test duration constant, it basically sets a 30-second timer in the game functionality function that I'll explain below. And this records file is where all the scores of each player after every game is stored. And the struct is a structure that holds the information for each player. As we go through the next couple of lines, these are the prompts for each specific clean and affordable energy. And these global variables hold basically the player's energy selection, which is stored as an int in the energy type variable, which will be implemented in a switch case um, implementation, which I'll talk about later. And based on the energy selection, the appropriate prompts will be put into the character array prompts of size 10. It's size 10 because the most amount of prompts for a specific energy is 10 for geothermal. As you can see here, just above, there are 10 prompts for geothermal. And we start at 0, so basically we increment whenever we put in a prompt. And next we have the function prototypes that are necessary for my program. And in the int main function, the first 4 lines basically sets up the curses .h library, which allows me to transition in between each screen. And most of my design and logos that are put onto the screen are actually in files, and they are open and read throughout my program. As you can see here by the logo file, which holds the leaf logo. And whenever we transition screens, we use the clear function. And then at the very end, we update records, basically storing the score of each player into a text file. And we end the curses mode and return 0 to indicate success. This following print file function actually is utilized a lot. It basically prints a file, it opens a file, reads it, and then prints it. Or it doesn't read it. It just opens it, or it just reads the file. It just reads the file. Because all the files are open manually and then printed later, like in the welcome file. The print instructions actually prints the description and controls um, description or display on the welcome to energy type screen. And the void print input names function basically stores the name of each player and prints the appropriate message on the screen. The print selection prints the types of energy that the uh, players can choose from, which is 1 through 5. And this while loop here actually makes the players or player input start to actually start, nothing else. So it prevents any unwanted starts. The print intermission function prints the transition from player 1 to player 2, and it uses the same while loop again here. And this is the generate prompts function where we store the appropriate prompts into the character prompts array that I mentioned earlier. And this is where the switch case is implemented based on the player's like preference on whatever they want to learn about, specifically the specific type of energy. And then here is this function basically shuffles the prompts. It ensures that the same prompts aren't reused and that they don't appear in the same order, so it's more of learning and typing rather than memorizing. And this function, print indented, displays the sentences neatly every time a new sentence appears. And this run typing test function actually is the game's functionality. This for loop below basically says run until 30 seconds is up, and inside the while loop, it basically checks it through the very last if statement. It checks if the player is inputting the right characters, and once they correctly type a full sentence, the move function will move the cursor back to the beginning of the sentence. And the print stats function basically prints the results of the game and the stats, and it determines the winner. And um, once the players exit, the records are stored, or the scores of each player are stored through the update records function. Thank you for tuning in and learning about my game.